Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. I hope your night is going good. Our Alberta Clipper is starting to dive south. We have an update for you on who will see the majority of the snow and some of the snow reports that we have. We'll take a look at the big system coming our way. It's all coming up right now.
Now, a Hutch's weather update with Chief Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, brought to you by Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, thanks again for joining me here. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Good to have you on board. And if you're joining, go ahead and drop a comment down there. Let me know where you're watching from. And as always, it's great to see you. Hey, as we head through our evening tonight and to the close of the work week, we have a lot to look forward to. Nathan, good to have you on from the Fargo-Moorhead area. The radar is showing that we do have our snow showers working their way through. Bruce says snow showers and flurries taking place in Vining, starting at around 7:30. Thanks for the update. Hazen, how's it looking for us? Ryan, good to have you on board as well. Things are quieting down tonight out in the Hazen Bay area out there, and Hazen as well. As we look, the snow showers ending in Bismarck. A report from the National Weather Service in Bismarck, 1 inch of snow in that 1 to the 2 inch for most category. We did get a 2-inch report in the Cullum area. Thank you so very much. That was done earlier. Hoping for an update here as we head into the 9 o'clock hour as well. And you can see some of the heavier snow sliding just down to the south of the border. And this system, it isn't done yet, but it's all but done for many of us. So again, the Fargo-Moorhead area, just this light dusting of snow shower activity taking place here all the way up to Ada, and then it cuts off north of Hillsboro, it looks like. Maybe just a little bit of light snow up there. Bismarck, it's all but ending there. We do see a little bit of an enhanced band that's been persistent in and around the Ashley area, Ellendale and Oaks, seeing that as well. But the main event down here, and it's even south of Aberdeen as you take a look there. So Brown County, South Dakota, through the Marshall County, Minnesota area, and Roberts County seeing some flakes. This is going to continue down there. That's where we'll have the best chance at seeing a little more than 2 inches of snow, and it'll be persistent in that area for a little bit longer. Other areas, if you're in Morris, if you're in Benson, if you are in the Traverse area, Ortonville, you'll have a better chance at seeing some of these heavier, bigger flakes working their way into your area. Ben, good to have you on from North Fargo. Watching from Breckenridge is Renee. Mary joining from South Fargo. Tracy watching from, I'll just show you. How about Delray Beach in Florida? Hey, so things are looking pretty swell down there. Hey, it's kind of fun to have interactive. You got Gulf Coast showers heading towards Tampa, some showers and thunderstorms continuing in Houston area. There's some severe thunderstorms in the northern side, probably not far from the Woodlands. Now, as we take a look, the snow showers are spreading through areas north of Minneapolis. And here's our forecast. Jerry, good to have you on from Thief River Falls, and Trace, good to have you on board from South Dakota. You can keep the snow, he says, and I appreciate that. Hello, Mary. All right, now let's take a look at the latest on the models with this storm system. I had shown you that it was shifting south. We do have a little bit of snow shower activity in northeast Montana, but by and large, our winter weather advisory for our area, starting to see this system wind down. It's going to bring some slippery roads. Let's get right to the road reports out there right now real quickly as we head to bed. This is what we have going on. We do have some yellow showing up here, and that's in the North Dakota area between Jamestown, Valley City, those areas seeing a little bit of yellow, meaning covered with ice. So if we look in on Jamestown, we could see the DOT camera, and certainly that tractor trailer there driving on some snow-covered roads there on Interstate 94. Keep that in mind traveling east and westbound. Now, the heaviest batch of snow has made its way through. Look at this as we go through Fessenden out there. We have some snow that is continuing to fall. So it's not showing up great on the radar, but it certainly is covering the ground and the roads up there. So we have yellow reported for road surfaces there. Devil's Lake, as we look in through the area there, we do have some snow showers covering the roads for you as well. So definitely some slippery conditions developing here. As we look into the Oriska rest stop, there is definitely snow covering the rest stop entrance as well. Down toward the Sisseton area, Hankinson, let's take a look at this. Those flakes look to be pretty large, about the size of Hutch's toenails there. I won't show you my toenails. Am I having mic issues again? Thank you, Paul. I'm going to switch over while I can here. Thanks a lot. Simon, good to see you as well. Hopefully the mic is sounding good. Let me know if you're noticing problems. I'm not seeing drop-offs on my my browser here, but let me take a closer look real quick. Sorry for the delay here while we get this looked at. And if I need to switch over, yeah, it looks like, maybe I am getting it cutting out just a little bit. I'll try to keep on board here. Just let me know if it's a problem and I'll switch over to another mic here. I've got a backup. I might sound like I'm in a closet downstairs, but I'm not. So, all right, snowflakes flying near the South Dakota border. That's what's showing up here. That's what's going on in North Dakota. The toenails comment. Missy likes that. I'm definitely not showing my toenails until I get myself one of them. What are they called? Pedicures, podicures, something like that. All right, now let's take a look. Glad it's sounding good, Jerry. Thank you very much for your feedback. Tiffany as well. Good to know it's sounding okay. I know sometimes it does. It sounds just a little on the goofy side here and there, and it does and can drop out. So I'm not questioning that at all. I'll just try to sit closer to the microphone and make it happen. This is a look at Highway 2, US 2, going through Minot. Okay, now the heavier band of snow moving through South Dakota. So why not? Let's check in on South Dakota, shall we? Let's do that and see what it looks like down there for our friends. And here we go. As we pull it up, we can take a look. Ooh, it does look like we have some pink roads out there. So pink means snow-covered, Aberdeen. Pink with the black lines means it's scattered, slippery, and icy. So getting in towards Eureka, let's take a look. Eureka! Oh my goodness, look at those flakes. There's a little bit of wind flying there. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's no fun to drive through. So I do think we'll have some higher accumulations down here near Eureka. And remember, the heavier snow batch was moving south of Aberdeen. So let's look off just to the west of Aberdeen. Let's pull up this camera. And it looks like, it's yellow. Oh yeah, that's snow there. There's some snow out on the ground and it's covered the roads, but the snowfall looks like it's decreasing there west of Aberdeen. And the heavier band was just south of Aberdeen. So let's check out this camera here south of Aberdeen, see what that looks like. Is it a mess? Well, it looks like less than fun to travel through. That's the Mellet area in South Dakota, just straight south of Aberdeen. Now, for our viewers in the Sisseton Hills area, let's take a look at that. Here we got a camera on I-29 at Sisseton, and here it is. Oofta. That's what they say, nai oofta. Yeah, that looks like just a wintry mess there. You don't want to mess with that if you don't have to. While it's moving through there, now it's a winter weather advisory. We're not expecting boatloads of snow, but it's hard to judge by a camera like this, but certainly a good couple of inches at least covering the interstate there with the tracks going through there. So we do have some snow showers moving through our southern counties, and it's indeed causing the road to be slippery, as reported by the South Dakota DOT. How about Minnesota, you say? Well, why not? You guys count too, right? Absolutely you do. All right. As we take a look at the land of 10,000 lakes, let's take a look at the road reports. We have pink showing up between St. Cloud and out towards the Lake Traverse area. That pink indicates completely covered road surfaces. And look at this, a couple of incidents reported on I-94 here. We have a stalled vehicle and the lane is blocked. That reported there. Here's a look from the seat of a snowplow. Grab your cup of coffee and join the beautiful and hardworking crew out there at the DOT in Minnesota working to keep the roads clear. There is what it looked like at 9:24 moments ago. So we do have a couple of incidents reported on I-94. Let's say between the Alexandria area and the Ashby exit. There's a couple of them, so it must be slippery, right? Stay off the cruise control, please. That'd be the goodest idea. As we take a look here, there's some snow-covered roads out there, so stay off the cruise control. And do not be surprised when you see some slippery conditions. Now, how about this nonsense? Checking down here where we have the pink roads, let's look at what the snow cameras are showing. You can kind of get a hint there that we got horizontal flakes flying. Wind speeds are generally 20 miles per hour or so, but these flakes are definitely reducing some visibilities down in those areas. So, moral of the story, this little clipper is clipping all the way into the Twin Cities where we have a number of incidents reported. Look at this nonsense out here. What's going on, Minneapolis, St. Paul? Oh, that's just a little bit of snow, but look at all these incidents. We've got cars spun out. We've got all kinds of incidents reported. And when we look at the cameras here moving into town, it doesn't look that bad. So just take it slow. You can do this. We got you. There's even more coming. Let's get to it. Any questions so far? Hey, thanks for all the comments. What? Okay, Browns Valley and Peaver, I've got a report of 5 inches on the ground. Thank you, Tyler. You're a trooper for going out and measuring that. Thank you very much. Tyler, you said it's between Browns Valley. I'm writing this down because I want to get it right. Browns Valley and Peaver. Thank you very much. And I can't write and talk apparently at the same time. Cindy, thanks for tagging a friend. Hey, I appreciate the reports. Watching from Bismarck. Good to see you, friends. Ashley, thank you for tuning in from Bismarck. Clayton says hi, and I appreciate your very, very kind words. I'm looking for other snow reports that we might hear. The most used word ever up here, Pamela says, is oofta. I think it's better than, what do they say? Nah, I can't say that on a broadcast. Oofta. Let's just say oofta. Okay, snow. That's a 4-letter S word. That's what we got. Good evening, everyone. All right, let's take a look here at what we have going on with regards to our radar. Again, is moving out. St. Cloud, Minneapolis, just north of Minneapolis in the northern suburbs have the heaviest of the snow showing up right now on the radar. Here's one last look at that. Your winter weather advisory that we have from the National Weather Service is in effect until 7 a.m. The snow showers will likely be exiting most of southeast North Dakota here as we go into around the 1 to 2 a.m. time frame. And there'll be some areas of wind as we saw on the cameras. It's going to be slippery and dicey out there, but that morning commute, let's just say we've had worse. Keep in mind that if you're traveling down to route for the good old Fighting Hawks from Grand Forks to Minneapolis, you'll be traveling through this on Friday morning if you're leaving in the morning. And if you left now, hopefully you're driving in and you're watching Hutch on the cell phone. At least your passengers are. Don't try to watch Hutch while driving the vehicle, right? That's not right. That's not legal. And I do not condone such activity. Cullum, update. Thank you, Justin. That's the goodest. Thank you. 3-inch report from Cullum. We'll pass that along. And it says Santa might take over for the Easter Bunny. I like it. Yep. Santa's hopping right into town. Thanks for checking in, Tracy, as well. Okay. So we're seeing this system slide south of Fargo. For Fargo, I don't think we're going to see the 2 or 3 inches of snow. Checking on Hutch's deck, we had a solid dusting. I couldn't see the wood anymore, but it certainly wasn't any more than 1/10 or so of an inch in South Moorhead. Now, the snow will last for a bit of time, but they're these thin, cold ice crystals that we have falling from the sky. The bigger toenail-sized flakes, as I've been describing them tonight, are falling down there near Aberdeen, as we showed you. Rita, good to see you in the Brainerd area and Bemidji. Oh, Bemidji, I say. Yeah, it's Bemidji tonight as temperatures are cold. Let's take a look at our current readings across the board as far as conditions go, other than just the radar. So to do that, I'm going to hold this up here, switch to the local radar so we can pick our site, and let's take a gander at what we have going on. Okay. There we go. All right, single site radar, we'll turn that on. We're going to also turn on the temperatures so we can get a peek at what's going on with those. Oh, and I don't want to show that. There it is. Sometimes Hutch is a little slow this time of night. I just had a nice big dinner. Had pork chops. What'd y'all have for dinner? Pork chops are good. Sorry to get sidetracked. Squirrel. Oh, sorry. Let's see here. Let's go with the winter. Okay, here we go. Winter radar. All right, so this is what the radar in Grand Forks is showing. The radar in Aberdeen is showing heavier bands of snow. So now we can get right down personal and see Webster all the way to Ortonville has that heavier band right now swirling through. And it is slippery going into the Twin Cities right now. Here's the Minneapolis radar, and we dock into that, and it got a very heavy band. See this white here? From Pleasant Ferry, St. Joseph, just south of St. Cloud as you're making the bend through that area on I-94. And just as you get ready to take that Clearwater exit so you can go get yourself a Big Apple fritter, things are looking pretty icy there in those areas. So keep that in mind. Cindy says, any issues, Thief River Falls to Duluth this weekend? You betcha. Let's get to that too. So temperatures now 25, St. Cloud 24, Elbow Lake, Fergus Falls 23 degrees, Fargo we have mid-20s as well. Pretty steady temperatures across the region until we get way up north. And we do have, well, look at that. You're steady Eddie up there too, mid-20s all across the board. So temperatures are about the same everywhere until we get north of Bismarck. That looks like about max or so. They're looking at about 14 degrees for that area. This snow is on our way out. Pizza, you are funny. Okay, I'm trying to piece this together. 4.25 inches in Aberdeen. Thank you, Neil. Very nice to hear from you, and I appreciate your report. 4¼ inches means that range that Hutch had in that 3 to 7 is certainly on the table. Oh, Kay had pizza. That's because I asked you what you wanted. I was wondering what the pizza came from. Yeah, I had the pork chops. You had pizza. 21 light snow in Cullum, 3 inches of snow, and we had tater tot hot dish for dinner. Ooh, that sounds perfect for this kind of weather. Thanks, Tiffany, for the stars. All right, let's talk forecast. Here's that planning forecast as we get right into things here. All right, planning forecast for the next 7 days. We get a little bit of a break for most of Friday. This system will be out of here. I'm thinking closer to the 1/2 inch to 1 inch for Fargo. You get down near the border, as I said there, 3 to 7 inches. There'll only be a couple spots that have a chance at 7 inches, and that's going to be in that just right along that border where that heavier band is setting up now. Melissa, good to talk to you, and thanks for the stars. And Sandy says it's 67 degrees right now in her house. Thanks for the report. 29 on Saturday. Most of Saturday is going to be light snow, and it looks light to me across the entire state. So it looks like the models are indicating a light snow event on Saturday, and it shouldn't limit traffic too much. Late Saturday, some are mentioning a chance of the heavier snow taking hold. I'm not seeing it on the most recent models until Sunday for the entirety of North Dakota. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. It does look like the snow will pick up. I've been saying be where you want to be by around noon. That's my first guess at what things are going to look at. Be where you want to be by around noon because the gusty wind and the heavy bands of snow begin pushing into our area. Good to have you on board, Scott. And so melt right away and no shovel needed. Yep, nice little whisk broom. I'll take care of it. And I can't do tater tots, says Pamela Baker. Maybe you put some of them twice baked potatoes on top, or maybe just mashed potatoes and make it shepherd's pie. Ooh, that sounds pretty yummy. Okay. Sunday, main event begins. Midday, be where you want to be. All day Monday, snow from the valley and into Minnesota, while it ends in our western counties. So it's not going to be everywhere all over the place for 2 days. The places that look like they'll see the majority of the snow will be the very eastern edge of the Dakotas, into central Minnesota and northern Minnesota, but there's a change I'll show you right now. Gusty winds continue and they'll shift and become northerly. So for our ranching friends, east winds Sunday, becoming north on Monday. That's what you need to know. Temperatures hovering right near 30 all the way through Monday, and then afterwards the cold takes hold. The snowflakes should be exiting Minnesota on Tuesday as we go through the day to the north and to the east, and then it looks very cold. Now, Hutch has a 0 for Fargo. I think we'll be colder if we get significant snow there. Let me move my little message there so you can see why it's even saying that. There we go. All right, let's see if I can find the 7-day. I had a light display up there. I don't know where that came from, so that's for my light controls. Sorry about that. Here's that 7-day planner. See the 1 below 0? We're going to have temperatures between 1 below and maybe as cold as 10 to 15 below, which you will see will challenge records for some of the areas that do get the deep snow. We're still on board for a chance of about 18 inches or more in a narrow band. I don't think it'll be a huge area of 18 or more inches of snow. I do think we'll see a very large area that gets 6 to 8 or more inches of snow. Let's put it that way. Pamela says, snowblower's parked and ready. Mine too. I started it, ripped the cord right off of it. Now I had to start it with the electric starter, but it's ready to go and it's aimed right at the driveway. Snowflakes, don't you even think about accumulating in Hutch's driveway. Or Pamela's, it looks like as well. Kat, thank you very much. Bill says, bring on the snow, 20 plus, please. Let me show you what we're looking at. Billings, Montana. Wow, that's Hutch's growing up town. I was a West High Bear student for, well, the better part of a year and grew up in Billings. So, Zachary, good to see. Yes or no for Fargo to Billings, Montana tomorrow? Yes. Tomorrow looks fine. There's going to be some slippery roads. Keep that in mind. There's a dose of snow on the roads right now. It'll be cold, but this system will be on its way out. So, yes, between now and tomorrow, or your road trip tomorrow, looks pretty good. Brooke, good to see you. Snow arrival time, what do you think? Let's get to it. Let's get to the forecast here. I'm going to show you a model. We're going to show you the latest ones because we don't want to send you to bed tonight with the old model data. Let's look at the American model. That's a new one. So here we go. American model is going to show us the timing of the storm in different areas so you can get a feel for where this system is going. And let's zoom in on our area, shall we? Because this national view, well, let's take a fast-paced look coming out of the Rockies. See, the low pressure system has not even really made landfall yet. It's not going to until we get there, right there, into Saturday morning. So our models are doing their best without even any really good data. There's data over the ocean, but not as much as we have over land. Once it makes landfall, we'll start to see an improvement in our forecasts on the track. So keep that in mind. There will be some changes. The low pressure system forms in Colorado. The Colorado low will begin blossoming there as we go into the day on Sunday. So you see, here's Saturday. Saturday, that looks like just a light band of snow. It'll be persistent in western North Dakota. So if you're in Bismarck and western North Dakota, persistent light snow with wind. Will the accumulations be ridiculous? No. Now, as we go through the day, though, that really does pick up as we get into Sunday morning out west. And it makes its way into the valley by, what I say, before noon. This model still shows by noon. Now, as we go through, it moves its way through. Look at the heavy, heavy snow in South Dakota, southern Minnesota, and then it moves northward. And then it continues to move northward, but not straight north. This is a change. And these are the kind of changes we'll see. The models we've been showing the last couple of days have this sucker shooting straight north through Minnesota. This is moving diagonally north into northern Wisconsin. That makes a huge difference, and that means our northern Minnesota counties could see less snowfall from it. So this track is huge in exactly where it's going to go. So let's take a look at that close-up model here so you can take a look a little bit closer at the trend of this storm system and as we get into the Saturday, Sunday timeframe. So here's your snow on Saturday. I'm going to rock it back and forth. Saturday morning, persistent snow, light snow, flurries, accumulating at a very slow rate, but still accumulating because it's snowing all day Saturday out west. Keep that in mind. There'll be a few inches. Then, as we head into Sunday morning, here's Sunday midnight, Sunday morning, and it's snowing like crazy in South Dakota and in the Bismarck area. So in the morning, it's Sunday. Had a friend ask me, can we make it from Dance to Bismarck Sunday morning? If you leave uber early or Saturday night, you're going to drive through some light snow with some wind and slippery roads. But the main event starts Sunday morning. So you want to be where you're going to be by Sunday morning to Sunday noon, depending on where you are in the state. So if you're my Bismarck friends, Billings, Montana, that trip for you folks going to Billings, Montana tomorrow, this system is out of here tonight. And look at that, clear sailing for your entire route. To go see the Billings Senior Mustangs or the Billings High Bears out there. Okay, now as we take a look, heavy snow through South Dakota setting up on Sunday morning, and here's noon. Boom. Be where you want to be by noon. The model still shows that. Very heavy snow, very strong easterly winds, and look at this, a sharp cutoff up to the north. Grand Forks and points north of Minot look to be lower impact, drier air undercutting the system. Now, as we go into Sunday night, the snow continues. It's spreading into Minnesota, and it's quite heavy, but it starts warming up in southern Minnesota and becoming rain there. What a mess that concoction's going to be. Still snowing from, well, till noon on Monday, right? So that's a full 24 hours of snow, moderate to heavy snow south and light to heavy snow here in Fargo. Then as we go through Monday, there's Monday morning, there's Monday afternoon, the wind becomes northerly, and look at the flakes continue to fly all day through the eastern third of North Dakota and most of Minnesota, minus this little eye of the storm here. That eye of the storm, you might as well poke it because it's going to be wet and slushy in that area. I wouldn't want to be around there either. That doesn't look like fun to drive through. Then as we go into the continuation, here we are Monday night, and it's still blowing and still snowing. Duluth is getting rocked there on the Iron Range, as well as the Minneapolis area, still getting snow as things cool off there. And this is slower to get out of here. This isn't even out of here until, well, mid-morning to late morning on Tuesday at the earliest. So what does that mean for this puppy as far as snowfall goes? Should we look at it? Yeah. Do you want to look at it? Raise your hand if you want to look. I see your hands going up. Yep, good. All right, Bob wants to see it. Yep, Larry. Yeah, everybody. It's unanimous. They all want to see the model. So let's do it. Okay, here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Now, don't look at the numbers yet because it's going to be very high. And I've been saying this throughout. These models, global models, big grid, shows a huge wide area of huge snow impacts. Probably not going to be that huge or heavy of snow over this wide of an area. Be more of a narrower band of heavy snow impact. Here it gets started as we go through Saturday, and by Saturday morning tonight, we're looking at a few inches of snow. 2 or 3 inches of snow is what this is adding on top of what the Clipper brought today. Keep that in mind. Then boom, Monday looks, well, that's Sunday. That's Sunday. So Sunday, the snow really begins to shut things up. Well, I shouldn't say shut things down, but really have an impact with wind. And then as we go into Monday, it just keeps adding insult to injury. Twin Cities included, St. Cloud included, I-29, I-90, I-29, I-94, all in heavy impact areas. I drew lines on my snow forecast earlier. I'll get you back to those. But notice this, because the storm doesn't exit straight to the north, but it takes more of a diagonal, the snowfall is almost nil or very little in our northern Minnesota counties. And I know they need the snow as well. So that's a look at the latest model run. There are some new ones coming in as well, but I wanted to get the timing there for you. I hope that answers your question. Scott says, I foresee a blizzard closing the interstates. Scott, the chances of a blizzard are increasing with this system. The thing is fine-tuning where the wind and the snow will be concurrent for more than 3 hours. Well, this is a 2.5-day storm system. There's going to be wind and there's going to be snow over a pretty large area, the way it looks now, for a pretty extended period of time. But we've all lived through these models showing snowmageddon, and then we get to these nice dry slots come in where the storm sucks in a dry chunk of air. Nothing we could do. The models didn't see it. We didn't see it. Shuts it down. Boom. It's done for a while. So that's the kind of stuff we won't really have a grasp on just yet. So now let me show you what we have going on for the snow track from the Canadian model. And this one have my fancy line on it? No. Here we go. Here's the Canadian model. Okay. Again, Canadian model looks a lot like the one we just saw just now from the new American model, and this one is a little older model. So the Canadian model now looks like the American model is saying, yep, those Canadians, that model might be more on track. Okay. This is snow by Wednesday, and this snow is heaviest from southern North Dakota through most of Minnesota, and it's most ridiculous in the eastern part of South Dakota, right into the Twin Cities. And this has snowfall amounts that seem to be pretty redonkulous. You're seeing numbers here. If I zoom in, I'll show you the numbers, but they're not my forecast. They're not really this model's forecast. It's more of a potential, and it's showing that we have, upwards of 18 inches to 2 feet of snow in places. Will that happen? It's not out of the question. Just keep that in mind. And it's not out of the question that my friend Scott is right on the money with blizzard conditions in these areas because the wind looks gusty, but not dusty. Now, tonight's system. Remember, I showed you that this band here has set up even farther south. This is a good point. The storm system that's coming this weekend, this one started out 2 days ago saying, yep, Fargo's going to be in that heavier band. We'll have a shot at that 2 to 7. Then it moved down here today. Now the actual event is taking place down here, another 30 miles south. That's just the way it sets up. We just can do the best we can with our models and trying to identify where that peak area is going to be. And now what we're seeing is it's going to be a little south of what you're seeing here. But still, I'm going to stick with that 2 to 7. We'll have pockets of 2. We'll have a couple areas of 7. And it looks like we're already getting some healthy amounts out there near the Traverse area with reports of the Brown Valley and Peaver area getting 5 inches of snow. Thank you so much, Tyler. Now, on to some other models here. This is a storm system on Sunday, a snapshot. Be where you want to be by noon. The snow and the blow get to going as we head into the afternoon and evening hours Sunday, and it doesn't stop, particularly right where I'm putting my finger. It doesn't stop here, Browns Valley and Beaver. It doesn't stop for areas down here near Brookings and Watertown. It doesn't stop all day Monday either. So it's snowing from Sunday through all day Monday. A good day and a half to 2 days of snow there for sure, and that don't look fun. Will this snowfall basically take us back to normal as far as ground moisture goes? Andrew, that's a wonderful question. the amount of liquid moisture associated with this system is going to be quite significant. And in fact, you asked a question, I'm going to give you an answer here. Let's go to the European model. It's the one I do tend to lean on for this kind of stuff. And I'm going to show you the answer to your question real quick. And thanks for hanging on with me, everybody else here, while we get to that. Yes, this system is a very wet one. And because it's going to last for so long, we'll have the chance to see moisture amounts. I'm just going to look at our area here. So let me zoom in here while I pop the map over to our neck of the woods. Where is it? There it is. Come on. There we go. Okay, so let's take it through Wednesday. This is Wednesday night. Okay, this is the amount of liquid moisture and where the liquid equivalent moisture would fall based on the European model. And it's showing between 1 and 3 inches and 1 and 2.5 inches of liquid equivalent moisture. So that would go a long ways towards helping. But notice Fargo, notice Grand Forks. It's driest in North Dakota along and north of the Highway 2 corridor. It is driest in Minnesota. The drought is the worst in central Minnesota. So going north-south through the central part of the state. So that's where things are the nastiest. And there's going to be some beneficial moisture from this system for sure. Yes, it's going to help. Will it bring us back to normal? No, not quite. So, and I say that because many of these areas have been very, very dry all winter long, and we're only looking at 1 to 2 inches of liquid equivalent. It's not going to be the big winter, but it'll certainly go a long ways towards helping that problem. I hope that answered your question. So what's the forecast for tomorrow? Alana says, let's talk about it. I think I had the image up here of the snowfall forecast. By morning, this is what you can expect as far as snowfall, although the band will be just a little bit farther south. There'll be some snow on the roads. It'll be slippery, and the snow showers will be done by daybreak across most of the area. So we're going to have temperatures on the 7-day planner here that start out generally. We're going to start out near 20 degrees in almost all areas. A little bit colder up to the north where you may actually have some clear skies. And then as we put up the 7-day planner, once again, most of us will see temperatures near 30 degrees. It won't be all that breezy even, with Friday's winds from the north at 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it's going to be a cool day, and some of us in the snow along the border there will have even cooler temperatures, and you'll be in the 20s. Now, as we look at the rest of the period here, all the way through the start of the storm system, we will have almost uniform temperatures daily. Lows near 20 in the morning, highs near 30 to 32 degrees in the afternoon. But the ridiculousness ensues as we get into Sunday and Monday. Alana, I hope that answers your question. And I know it's one of these things where I'm answering questions here as we go along, and I kind of get off task. So I appreciate you getting me back on. Hi, Joan from Bemidji. Good to have you on. Snow on the ground now in Wadena, Sandy says. And Brad says, just want to make sure you know how much we appreciate. Oh, thank you. Appreciate the service. And I appreciate you guys across the area sharing what you're seeing with me. So again, your reports make a difference. Tagging your friends and doing things like @highlights shows folks that this is ongoing and they can get their information here. Sunday, noon, be where you want to be. The northern part of the region stays dry because we'll have more of a northeasterly flow out of dry Canada, cold, dry air up there, cutting off the snow. This sometimes can come all the way down to Fargo, right? Because that drier air. So if this one takes a little southerly track like this storm system now is, you know what? This is going to scoot a little farther south as well. Don, thank you so very much for your support of stars. I sure appreciate all of you sharing that. Now, this is a snapshot of Tuesday. So it snows from Sunday noon all the way to Tuesday morning in Fargo, according to some of these models. And the snow will be exiting throughout the morning hours on Tuesday at a little quicker pace. Then we'll have cold, dry air coming in for all areas. So depending on where you live in the region here will dictate when the snow starts and when it ends. It's going to be a western North Dakota system starting on Saturday with light snow and wind. And then it's going to last all day in some spots out there on Saturday. Light snow. We're talking a few inches the way it looks right now. And then on Sunday, for all of us, it's a mess. Out west, it starts a little earlier, and down south, it starts a little earlier in the morning. Here in Fargo, be where you want to be by noon. Bismarck, be where you want to be by around 10 a.m. or so, and the wind and the snow will take hold, and it will not relent. Now, it will exit Bismarck first, and it's going to kind of start doing this eventually, okay? And then it will sit here, and then it will move north. So It's a complex system, and these things could still change a little bit, but at least you have an idea that we're going to have some unfun weather as we go through the next few days. Here's the European model, and it has the impactful track that I've highlighted here. The European model's still on this bend that says it's going to go more straight north. The American model is the new one that says it's going to do that. I don't buy the American model just yet, so keep that in mind. We'll have an update again tomorrow as we go through this and get a little bit closer. And tomorrow should be a nice break for most of us. Now, this model shows a couple of things. All these models do. Eastern South Dakota, southern North Dakota, and almost all of Minnesota minus the northern tier stand to see junk weather, okay? So it's 2.5 days of not fun junk travel conditions are going to be impacted. So let me take a minute to look y'all in the eyes and tell you what the impacts could be with this system. It's not everywhere that's going to see these impacts. We're worried about travel, obviously. And people are asking, should I make the trip? Should I not make the trip? Should I fly out earlier? I cannot forecast that. But the best thing for travelers is to have fluid plans, be able to change them, because you could be stuck somewhere. If you end up going to a dance thing on Sunday and you need to get back Sunday, be where you want to be Sunday by noon. That's my best advice right now. And then pay attention to the forecast, knowing it can change. That's the way it looks today. And that's the best I can do for today. Travel impacts. Air travelers. Depending on where you're flying out of, this storm system starts and ends in different places at different times. But it certainly looks to impact Minneapolis's travel all the way from Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And possibly Fargo on Sunday and Monday. And then Tuesday may be improving. I can't tell you whether the airport will have delayed flights or anything like that. I can't predict that, but we will have impactful weather during those days. Here's a couple new ones, and I want you to pay attention to these. For ranchers out there, Sunday, east wind with heavy snow. So the drifts will be going that way. That wind will be from the east to west. And then on Monday, it begins turning and steering out of the north. And the snow will continue to fly in the valley and points east. And it does continue in much of Minnesota through all of those days. So please keep that in mind. It's something that you want to take into account. Another thing I want you to keep in mind of this. Power outages will be possible with wind and heavy wet snow. So there's going to be some potential for that. It's not going to be widespread everywhere likely, but you know what? We have to be prepared for that. So having your milk and bread and honey and all your supplies stocked up ain't a bad idea. Here's the new one. I haven't said that this time, and that's my neglect. The load on certain roofs could be quite high. Now, we don't have a lot of snow on our roofs right now, and nothing you can do about it. But on certain type of buildings, like big spanning sheds and stuff like that, could be a lot of heavy wet snow, particularly down in this area here where we see eastern South Dakota, southern and central Minnesota. This does include Lakes Country. It does include Otter Tail County out towards Wadena County. You folks in Hubbard County, Bemidji, all of you look to be getting snow blower and snowmobile level snow and snow plow snow. So because it could be heavy, there could be a load on some roofs, particularly those that have big spans to them. I'm not saying that you need to be panicking about your house's roof. That's not what I'm saying. But it's something to keep in mind as a very heavy wet snow makes its way through, and it's a 2.5-day system. Those areas that get that heavy snow, we could have some problems. So keep those things in mind, and take care of each other and your neighbors, and we'll get through this. We always do. And a lot of times they don't end up being as bad as the forecast. I'm going to pop up a video link here to my YouTube video where I went over some analysis. Jocelyn, good to have you on board. Thank you so very much for your support of stars. Riley says, think this will make the roads super icy with it being wet afterwards. Riley, I think southern Minnesota, where it starts as snow and then changes over to rain, it could be a mess, like really slushy mess, almost like trying to drive through cement. And then with it freezing over afterwards with the north wind moving into southern Minnesota, then it turns into mud that's hardened, right? Just a terrible thing to travel through. Yeah, you're welcome, Aaron. I appreciate the fact that you enjoy looking at the different models. It's fun for me too. I spend all day trying to put together this weather story, if you will, and that's part of what I do, and it's part of what makes my job fun. And this platform makes it a lot easier for me to kind of go over some of these different things that we have to weigh. And I think it lessens the amount of miscommunication. I'm not up here saying it's going to be snowmageddon for everybody. That's not what I'm saying. The models show a lot of snow. Will we get that much snow in places? I think we could very well get that much snow. And by that much, I mean 18 or more inches of snow. That's more than enough. Historically, we don't see a lot of 1-foot snowstorms in 24 hours in North Dakota, but the one type of storm that typically does it is going to be a Colorado low. Those have the greatest chance at producing that. But this storm is going to take 2.5 days to get through some of the region. It takes a day and a half to get through western North Dakota. It takes 2 days to get through parts of eastern North Dakota. It takes 2.5 to 3 days to get through easternmost North Dakota and the southern part, south of Fargo, eastern South Dakota, and all of Minnesota. It's almost 3 days worth of snow. So there could be some pretty heavy hit areas. How is Tioga and Minot going to be from this system? Alyssa, thank you for your question. I want to just take a minute and throw a shout out to my good friend Tom Schrader out there. If you know Tom Schrader and you're from the Minot area, if you're from Tioga, you know who he is. Check out his page. He's got a page like mine. His is called Hey Tom is On. Go ahead and look it up when we're done here. Hey Tom is On is doing the similar stuff to me, and he'll take care of you there. But I can tell you this, the northern reaches of North Dakota do not stand to see quite as much snow as our neighbors to the south in the southern one half of the state will. And for you to picture that, I know I can talk about it, but let me put the map back up here so you can see it. And let's pick I'm going to pick the European model. I just like it the best. So Tioga, you can see it. You're up there by Bowbells, Tioga, and look at Minot. It has about 3 or 4 inches of snow. So the Highway 2 corridor could be a sharp cutoff to almost very little impact from this 3-day event. You're going to get wind. You're going to have a cold, dry wind most of it, and there'll probably be some icy roads and blowing snow. But the snowfall amounts in Tioga don't look too bad. Hey, Tom knows the weather. That's right, Jesse, and I'm lucky to consider him a friend. So, check out his site. He's doing the same thing, and he has the same type of platform where you get to help him by asking questions, and he'll keep you on track as well. Sue says somebody wanted to take the snow tires off, and I think we will wait. Not a bad idea. That's right. So, again, I'm sitting with my chair in the middle of of many of you guys, but basically, if you take the eastern half of North Dakota, and in North Dakota, just the southern part, so the whole southern part of the state of North Dakota and eastern parts of South Dakota, those are the targeted areas where 8 or more inches is likely. And you see the yellow lines I drew here, it's inside this yellow area where I think we'll have the best chance at seeing winter storm criteria, if not all-out blizzard criteria, at times during this event. So we'll keep you updated on what the National Weather Service wants to do with that. I put a link up here for you to take a look at my video. I'd sure love to have you check out my YouTube video. You're going to see some of the same stuff that I talked about here. I do go over a couple models, but I'm also showing you the impacts of this same storm system as it works its way through the Rocky Mountain West, what it could cause for the plains as we go into next week as far as severe weather potential, because it is there. And then, pardon me, and then also what's going to happen in the East Coast when this clipper works its way tonight from our area to Chicago and the East Coast. So heavy snow is going to return to more than just our area as we go through the next few days. Michelle, thank you so very much. Thanks for all of you who support me with stars. I continue to appreciate the word of mouth passing along that old Hutch is still doing the weather. And if you pass it along to someone and they don't have they do not have Facebook, because some people don't like Facebook, some don't use YouTube. Let them know about the YouTube channel. And coming soon, we'll have some exciting announcements to expand Hutch's weather. So we'll keep you posted right here. You have a wonderful Thursday evening. Our clipper is continuing to clip. I'll put the radar up here as we wrap this puppy up. Here's the radar. Let's pull it up and show you that as we look now, I'm going to go ahead and put up the regional radar because that one shows more of the widespread nature of this storm. And as I showed you, look at Minneapolis. They're having wrecks galore out there. It looks like this system is really blossoming as it moves toward the Twin Cities. It's almost done in Bismarck. 1 inch reported there, 3 inches an update in Cullum, 5 inches from Tyler, he said, in Browns Valley to Beaver area. And we had Neil reporting 4.25 inches of snow as well. And that was, oh, Neil, I didn't write down the location of your report. Well, Neil, if you're still on, I'll have to go through my notes and look because you're right here in the notes. But I sure appreciate all of your reports. And as I have illustrated completely, Hutch has a hard time talking and writing notes at the same time. You all have a wonderful evening. We will check back in the morning. And throughout your Friday, I'll have updates. And through the storm, of course, you can count on me to bring you updates as well. Have a wonderful night. We'll talk again.